Game was evil video. Why? I don't know. I want to do another ASIM.
For a small windup, you stun for a whole 3 seconds. 0.2 seconds less than Darkheart variant. You get the second longest stun in the game for a windup of just 0.75. I just say decrease the stun duration a bit, that's all. Hitting Ice Dagger most of the time is just a pain due to you needing to get so close that you just get hit anyways, which I understand because of its fast windup. But making the hitbox just a tiny bit bigger would be better because it would be more consistent. Then we have Psychosis from hitting Ice Dagger. So I'm pretty sure adding a visual so survivors know the killer has Psychosis would help a lot because it would help them take advantage of the effects, and so they would save their stun for later. So I'd say just increase the hitbox slightly and have a visual so that people know the killer has Psychosis. The regeneration on hit is something I love about Darkheart, being the main reason I use it from time to time. But the problem is actually hitting it. Yes, it gives the longest stun in the game being 3.3 seconds. But the killer has to be stupid not to notice you're trying to hit them with it. The killer just needs one brain cell to dodge it. Either make the windup a bit less or increase the hitbox by just a tiny bit. First of all, Blindness 1 doesn't do anything to the killer. It just makes their screen slightly blurrier, but it doesn't do much. So if it was increased to Blindness 4 or higher, then the blindness would actually do something. Then the slowness you get. For a sword that lunges you, you should get a bit more slowness. Not too much, but more like half second to a full second of more slowness.
I'm fine with the windup, but the stun duration is alright, I guess. I see you want people just use it up close because it's not really rewarded for trying to hit the killer from afar. I'd suggest for the stun time to slightly increase depending on where you hit the killer from. If you're up close, then you just get the same stun time. If you hit them from like X amount of stuns away, then it will stun for just a bit more, so it feels rewarding. So, let me get this straight. You get 15 seconds of painted for stepping in your own paint, also being the exact same amount of time the player gets painted for stepping in your paint. Why do you get the exact same amount of painted applied to you? Make it at least half of the painted time for stepping in your own paint. Then there's the cooldown for paint buckets. The base cooldown I'm fine with, but getting the full cooldown of 35 seconds for the killer destroying your paint is just so annoying. If the killer destroys your paint, don't put it on its full CD, but set a 25 to 30 second cooldown instead.
There's nothing much to complain about Rifle, it's pretty fair and pretty fun to use. Except for maybe aiming with it, probably have a way to show where you're aiming with the rifle. Because most of the time when you're shooting, you can't really tell where exactly you're aiming. It can be when you're shooting it, you see a small line where the rifle is exactly aiming at. Just like how CC's gun works.
Key guess of now is alright, but it could be better. The healing is just too slow, so most of the time you won't get as much value. If it heals just a bit faster, then you can get actual value out of it. Then just have it heal slightly more, like a 5 HP increase. Something small, but something just to buff it very slightly.
When properly speaking, yes, sorry, Sughrue couldn't quite make it for basket, cause he's still trying to figure out what to complain about basket.
Why does the strength buff actually exist? In any normal game, you aren't actually going to kill the killer, so it already makes the strength buff useless. The only proper use case for strength buff would be in Arena. For an Arena, you would be much better off bringing shield or any type of healing.
Overall, in my opinion, it's just better Skateboard. You can help multiple teammates at once, very short windup, you won't actually get killed for using it if the killer is near you, and the best part of it is just Die of Death's adrenaline but better. So it's actually useful. There's really nothing wrong with Regen Coil, it's just a better version of Skateboard, even though I feel like it should reduce your stamina by 5 or 10. Regen Coil really doesn't heal that much. Yes, I know it's supposed to be used in the group, but it barely heals anything. Instead, it should heal more depending on how many people you use it on, so people can stop being greedy and using it in the corner of the map for literally no HP. So basically just buff the healing, and probably get vulnerability used when using it.
As much as I love using Taunt, it just sucks. If the killer backs up just a bit, your Taunt ends after a bit, then actually hitting 15 taunts, yeah, rarely ever gonna happen. You'll always either get hit first or just miss too many times. Then after all of that, you barely even get any compensation for hitting taunts. Yes, you get 0.8 health and 2.5 seconds of adrenaline every hit, but that still doesn't do much, especially considering you'd only get 12 HP if you manage to hit all of them somehow, with you also literally getting nothing if interrupted. As for the killer debuffs, they're just okay. Trowel is great overall except for the slowness the killer gets if they jump over it. First, slowness 1 just doesn't do anything, so making it slowness 2 instead would make it more punishing. Then there's the fact that it just doesn't apply slowness to the killer consistently. Most of the time from my experience when I jump over the wall, I don't get any slowness. Mainly a bug, but I thought I pointed out. As fast as Pi can travel, it just isn't worth it. Pi being a backliner ability makes sense, but it's a high risk with just no reward. It first of all leaves you very vulnerable, and the debuff Pi gives to the killer aren't even worth it. The slowness that it applies barely lasts, and blindness 1 on hit literally does nothing. The only thing useful with Pi is it applying weakness. Just more slowness and letting you move a bit faster would make Pi actually good. It's a great getaway tool and great support tool to get a survivor away from the killer. The problem is if you're trying to run over the killer. If you run over the killer, you almost always end up dying from it due to you always being at a huge stamina disadvantage. Maybe just a bit of slowness applied to the killer so it actually gives you a chance to escape would be great. The most annoying abilities to go against are, well, for me at least. First of all, with its giant range, you can easily scan the killer to basically get a free invisibility 9 for 11 seconds. And if you have bad eyesight like me, you're losing the person you were chasing immediately. But oh, then just use an ESP move right after. Nope, you'll also get undetectable for 11 seconds as well. I'd just say decrease how long you get invis and undetectable by like 4 seconds. 15 whole seconds just to heal 33 HP. But like, oh, you could use the move chase and stuff. I don't care. The killer can just make the healing stop instantly anyways. Making Burger take 10 seconds to use a full HP would just make it more useful. First, while eating, none of your movement speed is reduced at all. So you can eat it in chase for free. And with the speed boost you can get a really good distance. But the main issue is you still get the full speed if you're hit while eating it. It shouldn't give you the speed if you're hit while eating.
Bleh, block is good, gang. Literally nothing is wrong with block. You'd think giving the killer 4 status effects would make TV a good ability, right? Well, yeah, it's a great ability. I just think it would be a nice addition if it also gives the killer track for 3 seconds, so you can show where the killer is to everyone, just even for a tiny bit while they're blinded, so someone can try and take advantage of the killer's blindness. The recast from Basher just feels useless. It's better to stay in your stand for longer and play mind game with the killer. Bashing the killer just doesn't give enough debuffs to actually make it worth ever using. If bashing inflicted slowness for a tiny bit longer, then it would actually be useful. I have never seen such a bad ability in my entire life. First, you can't even use it mid-chase. If people can do that minigame while in chase, I'd be impressed. Then there's access card giving you no reward for using it at all. Then finally, no one even uses the killer doors you unlock. You make the doors stay open for longer and have them highlighted to the survivor so they actually know it's open, then it would probably be useful.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Yeah, I know it's another month for a video, but that's literally my schedule. A video every 1 to 2 months. Anyways, the reason Next is here is because he actually felt like being in a video. And have a great day. Bye!